Oh, hello, Paula. Hi, Lois. Thank you. How are you today? Oh, hi, Cassandra. Nice to see you. Is there lots of snow in Whistler? Oh, thank you, guys. Hi, Jacqueline and Patricia. Nice to see you. And Maya and Dawn. Ah, Harriet. Wow, hello. Aloha from Hawaii. Nice to see you. Well, I'm going to give you a call in the next few days. We have to catch up. Oh, I know. Well, thank you. Nice to see you. Linda. Thank you. Nice to see you. Good morning. Dia McGorn, beautiful to see your little face there in your picture. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're just going to hang tight here. Good morning, Carol, for a few minutes while some people log on, and then I got lots to talk to you about, and I have yes, lots to talk about. It's exciting times, huh? Esther and Paulina and Iva. Oh, nice. Nice to see you and meet you, some of you, brand new. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you here this morning. All right, I'm going to give it one more minute and then we will get started. Hi, good morning, Carol. Carrie. I'm looking forward to being here with all of you too. Okay, I'm going to get started and hopefully I'll see your comments along the way easily. I've got two computer screens here, so I'm juggling here a little bit back and forth, but it's all good. I can figure this out. Ah, Sonia, nice to see you. Um, so, as I sent out the email talking about this talk that I was going to do today, I said, it's the bottom of the ninth and the bases are loaded. Are you feeling a little nuts, right? And it's like, if not, it's no surprise. And I don't think it really matters who you are. You're either going through you're brand new. I'm going to talk about this, and kind of you're having this huge awakening, and a purification is really the word that's getting used a lot, which means emotions are being revealed that need to be transformed. And so emotions and situations and things like that. And so it's a challenging time for many people. Not to say that you can't be successful and you can't do good things, but it's like there's so much going on. We're in the month of the Earth Rat now. It's the day before solstice. We're on the cusp of age 9, um, be, which is a 20-year period in Feng Shui that hugely influences the energies that we're in, if you will. Like there's so many different systems that I'm quite an expert at, between Chinese astrology and Feng Shui and Western Astrology and that. And actually, just before I go back into all that, if you haven't met me before, hello and good morning. And it's I'm Marlyna Loss, right? And I'm a Vancouver-based Feng Shui consultant and astrology reader here in Vancouver. I did not grow up thinking I'm going to become a Feng Shui master. That was not at all my intention. But it's interesting, the more I got into metaphysics and learned about astrology, and actually really my whole life, I've met people along the way who would say, like my first astrology reading was at 14. And, you know, I had said then that you will be a teacher of metaphysics in your older age, and people from around the world will be coming to you. And I was like, how can they see that? Right? How can that be possible? But yet there was and I did not envision my life this way. I grew up in a very traditional Christian European family, which is like you get married and kind of like that's what you're going to do. But there was a part of me as that was said to me, and it was like, oh, I know that there's some truth in that, right? And I have to tell you, the readings that I've had over my lifetime, over the years, have always been something that awakened something in me or rang something in me that I already knew. And so part of the reasons now that I'm doing these live conversations with you and talking about all the different systems is because certainly the portals that we're in right now, the ability to awaken and to hear our higher self has never been greater. And so I'm hoping that, if I can give you some of the insights and twinks, of energy that are like, oh, I should pay attention to that, or there's something there I need to look at, that I can help you, And so the future, is being created now. And that's true all the time, but right now more than perhaps any other time, particularly with the solstice tomorrow and the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction that's happening, and you have to be a rock to not know what's going on. I mean, it is the two largest planets in our astrology, in our solar system, are meeting at 0 degrees in Aquarius on winter solstice. Like, this is huge, right? And so we know that the stars affect the tides and gravity and all those things. Well, they affect us as well. We are mostly made of water. So that affects us. And so I purposely chose today, this month, to talk to you with the solstice being tomorrow, so that we could join our energies and support one another in this very special time. Because here's the thing that I also know as well. Whenever two or more are joined, our energy is greater. Right? And so we support each other, like that together we are more. And so this joining, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's together or doing a meditation or things like that, we make the energy bigger. And this is something to really remember moving forward into these new energies, because doing it alone is not the answer. We have to do it together to support one another. So if you follow me, if you're here today, it's because on some level you understand that we are energy, that you are energy, and that you are affected by these stars, that you are affected by where you live. And here's the other thing, that your energy also affects those things as well. This is because you can't have it one way. We affect outside as much as outside affects us, right? And so part of my job is to help you make sense of what's all going on and to help you see this as a positive thing. I'm going to go over with you here a little bit of what's all happening and what the spiritual lesson is in that, or the opportunity. And then, of course, I'm going to do some little mini readings for 2021 here for each animal sign. And then I'm going to leave you with a really beautiful ritual that you can do in the next few days to release the energies of this year and to set intentions and create a sacred space for the upcoming year. Okay? So let me just see if I'm okay. So tomorrow, let's just discuss, because no matter what system you're looking at, they're all kind of telling us the same thing. Okay, so tomorrow is the winter solstice. And what's the winter solstice? It's 0.0, right? It's like the day where we begin to shift from darkness back into light, right? And so it's a transition stage. And one of the things I really love about Feng Shui, to me, Feng Shui and Chinese metaphysics has been the tool where I can most easily explain what's going on, like yin and yang, contraction, expansion, and then translate that into our Western thinking, okay? And so winter solstice, we're at this transition point where everything is contracted, and tomorrow we start the beginning of going back to the light. Now we all know that there can be no darkness without light, like that the two do, there's not one without the other. And how do you get rid of the darkness? By just opening the door and stepping into the light. But right now we are all in the darkness. And this whole year of the Earth rat, which is like having winter solstice all year long, in metal rat particularly, is 0.0 on the compass. We have been at that place where it's 0 degrees, where it's the darkest night. And so what is the darkest night's purpose? You know, did God say, oh, you're supposed to suffer? No, it's to reveal what needs to be revealed. Because when we're in the void, you see all the parts of your life that's not working. You see the behaviors that your body is doing, or your ego is doing, that your higher self isn't in alignment with. Hello, everybody. So nice to have you here joining us. And so tomorrow, so we're at 0, we're in Metal Rat month in the Metal Rat year, right? And so rats always symbolize new beginnings. So what's a new beginning? A birth, okay? So everywhere there's all these images of that we are giving birth, okay? And now tomorrow, Jupiter and Saturn, our solar system's largest 2 planets, meet at 0 degrees. So here we have another 0 degrees, right? A new beginning. And they move, this is happening on winter solstice, so this is huge, right? The energies. And so when I said, are you feeling a little nuts? If you're waking up jubilant and happy, I'm shocked, because a lot of us, myself included, are being forced to look at the habits and behaviors, or the thoughts that we have where we're not worthy, or we're not deserving, or I didn't do it right, or things that we need to shed in order to move on. And so the planets of Jupiter and Saturn are meeting tomorrow into Aquarius, which is a much nicer sign, energetically, if you will, than Capricorn. Like Saturn in Capricorn is the end of old orders, and Jupiter in Capricorn with Saturn there didn't have a lot of power. So it's been a tough year. Now tomorrow they meet, and they rarely meet, and I don't have all the facts with me, but because they're the 2 biggest stars in our planets in our solar system, they are creating what's called the Bethlehem effect. And so what happened with the Bethlehem effect many 2,000 years ago is the 3 wise men saw the star in the sky, and they actually knew from that image that something magical had happened, right? And it was the birth of Jesus. Now, I'm telling you, something magical is happening again tomorrow, and it's happening for all of us now. And so we all get to choose, what is that magic going to be? We are not meant here to suffer, and yet we create suffering for ourselves all the time. And so how do we shift from suffering? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. The last 2... You can never, UPS, I think, is at my door. Well, they're just going to have to wait, I guess. Yeah, this is what happens with live Facebook. The shift that's happening now, right? The shift that's happening now is we are shifting from power being outside of us to being inside of us. We are finding the answer within us. This is what a lot of these... Okay, hang on one second. I apologize. Hello? Okay, there we go. You can wait. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I know, 3 times. They never ring 3 times. So I guess my kids are sending me Christmas presents and different things. So, okay. Well, it's a good thing I have notes here, because otherwise I would get like, oh. Okay, take a breath. The last 2,000 years, the planets of Saturn and Jupiter, when they meet, which is about every 20 years, right? And so in Feng Shui, we also have 20 years. So you start seeing these overlying patterns happening, right? When they met in earth signs, that was quite a heavy type of energy the last 2,000 years. And now it's happening today or tomorrow. They're in Aquarius. They're meeting in Aquarius. And so we're moving into this whole new perspective, a whole new paradigm, the end of the world order as we know it. We are all getting an upgrade in consciousness. Tomorrow we are moving through that portal, right? And these portals, like Jupiter is expansion and Saturn is contraction. So again, now this is a whole process of birth. What happens as we go through the birth canal? It is contraction and expansion. So actually the last 3 years, this has been an influence in our lives where what needs to change is being revealed and new opportunities are coming. It's like cycles of yin and yang. It's super exciting, but it's also really painful because we don't like change. We like things to stay the same. And if you're resisting it, it's even more painful, right? And so what happens, and actually it's so curious because from the moment we start to create a baby, it's a process of contraction and expansion, right? To the moment that that baby gets born. And then the baby gets born, and this is where we're at. The baby is being born. And what's a new baby? The year of the metal ox, the images of a diamond coming out of the earth, right? Like something precious being born. And a new baby, we need to take care of that. We need to look after her or him, right? But this is the energy that's happening now. So all of us are actually being asked to, it's like what does a good parent do? Well, it takes some responsibility for this new energy. And how does that work? Well, it actually is also understanding that our own energies are contributing to this process. We are shifting from a power of everything being outside of us and finding the answer to now looking inside. And so this has been going on for a while. Many people are doing vision quests and meditation and plant medicine and spiritual retreats. Like we're just feeling called to look at who are we, God-based work. And so now for centuries, we've been giving guidelines and teachers on how to do it, but now the answers are within us, and this is what's moving forward, is more and more of us are learning how to tune in and check into our own inner guidance and to learn to listen to it and to be responsible human beings. It's to stop blaming that the world is causing our problems, to stop blaming that the world is causing our problems, and to start taking responsibility for our role in that. Okay, because we are all connected. Okay, no matter what system you look at, we are in a birthing process. We are also being born into age 9, the age of Aquarius, another whole new 12-year cycles. All year I've spoken to you of the metaphor that we are in winter and it's the void. Why? Because we are shifting to higher consciousness. And in order to do that, you have to release what's not serving you, okay? And so what 2020 has done particularly is what you have been unwilling to deal with in your life and in your consciousness has been exposed, right? And it's been exposed collectively as well with the Black Lives Matters and the Me Too movements and the just various ways. But if you have patterns inside yourself of I'm alone, I'm a victim, life is hard, and you have victim martyr archetypes or many, many different ones, this has been exposed because now we have to transform this. Your job or relationship may have changed. Whether you are codependent and not speaking your truth, that has been brought up. And so for many of you, you haven't wanted this change. It's come up whether you've wanted it or not. And for some of us, we knew that this was coming and happening, and we worked with it. Did that make it easier? No, it hasn't made it easier. I've had trouble sleeping. I have some health issues. And yet I recognize that all that is happening for me because this is an opportunity that my soul has signed up for, right? And how does metaphysics help you? When you learn how to read the stars and you learn to recognize, it's like, well, like we live many, many lives. What soul blueprint did I choose in this lifetime, and what lessons can I work with, and what are my opportunities, right? That's what's being revealed. And that's how I love to help people. So one of the biggest lessons for all of us right now is to truly realize that we are energy beings and to understand how the quantum field works. Indigenous cultures and the Chinese have known for centuries that the world is made of matter and that our thoughts are things. Now we're all being asked to do spiritual training. Spiritual training was something that used to happen in the temples, and now we're being offered it everywhere, whether it's on Zoom or in groups or different things. But spiritual training was once something that happened outside, where we had to learn how to manage our thoughts. And now you can get a Joe Dispenza book or read Eckhart Tolle or do Bruce Lipton. I mean, there's so many things out there where you can learn how to master your own thoughts, because our thoughts are things. We need to be the change. So if you are in fear and guilt and anger, that is the world you are creating. Okay, and so tomorrow is a portal, particularly, it's like this whole year and years have come to this thing where we can actually consciously choose differently. Is it going to go away right away, all these things? No, the next 3-4 months particularly are going to be quite crazy. Hello, everybody. Those of you that are joining later, lovely to see you here. Welcome. So 2020 is the year where, and 21 moving forward, is the year where our true power as manifestors has being revealed. So here's the really tricky thing. Much of our thinking, 80% of it, is unconscious. Okay, so the belief patterns from our neural pathways from the moment of conception to the first, particularly 6 years of life, create neural pathways in our brain that create these stories. Right? And so you probably all lived long enough that you realize there's patterns where you see relationship patterns repeating and work patterns repeating and things like that. Well, we are the common denominator in those things. And there's lots of beautiful tools to work with this. And there's several of you even on this call here who are who work with family constellations or who do inner child work or who do those types of things. In addition, these are all things I do in addition to the work I do to help heal my belief patterns that happened to me from being adopted and having thoughts that I'm abandoned and I have to do it alone. That's just all a story, and I can change it and I can work with it to create a new story, and that's what I'm doing today. So we all choose as souls to come into this lifetime to resolve past karmic beliefs so that we can learn to raise our vibration. And in order to raise our vibrations and to create a better world and life, it's not about punishment. It's just about, can you get into your heart and have your heart open and recognize that we are all connected and that somehow we are all influencing each other's lives. There is no one outside of there. You, like I said, you cannot use Feng Shui and just say, oh, I'm going to connect to abundance without realizing it's a two-way street. And how does that work? Can you keep your heart open? Can you stay out of blame? Can you take responsibility for your life and become the catalyst of change in other people's lives? So one of the most exciting things that you can learn moving forward is that everything is an opportunity. All right, so you can see I get really passionate about this. So all year and accelerating tomorrow with the solstice, we are being given gifts of new abilities, telepathy, healing, higher and finer consciousness. Many of us, whether we wanted to or not, are changing paths in our lives. You may not feel it tomorrow on the solstice. I understand that it's here at I think about 10:30 in the morning here in Vancouver, 10:22. That you might actually feel the point, 0 point, you might, but many of you will not feel it. Whether you feel it or not, it doesn't matter. The change is happening in yourselves anyways. And we are all being energetically upgraded, okay? And so to support yourself at the end, I'm going to give you a ritual. Whether you do it tonight or whether you do it later in the week, it doesn't matter because it's all happening right now. The future is being created now. Be excited. Right? Be part of the solution. And if nothing else, because there's so many emotions going on, be curious, right? Because when we're curious, so here's the thing, you need to have your energy system be open. Because if you are in fear, you are closed. You cannot, you are not receiving the vibrations, right? And so part of this is, that's why breathing is important and being present and doing all those things is because it helps you be open to the energies that are happening. Even just literally doing this, where you put your hands out at your side and you open up your chest and you open up your heart chakra and you do that. It's just do that throughout the day because it's a conscious thing. It's like, okay, I'm welcoming this. I'm open to this. I want to talk to you just a little bit before I get into the predictions about we are shifting into age 9. And we are shifting into a feminine energy, goddess energy. And technically this already started in 2017. And Feng Shui isn't the only system that talks about it. The Western Astrology and the planets there as well talk about how we have shifted into a feminine archetype of energy. The old masculine energies are crumbling. And whether you are a male or female, we are being asked to stop from doing to being. The male archetype, which many of us have, it's like we strive to do more, be more. And the energies that are coming now is we will actually accomplish more by being and energetically connecting and then attracting that into our lives. Okay? So this energy demands truth. It demands being truthful to your soul and being in alignment with your soul. What is your soul asking of you? What no longer serves you and needs to be let go of? And the metaphor again is it's spring now, right? We were going through winter. New growth is beginning. And new growth is with new material. Trust that you will be okay. We are all being asked to trust. We are all souls. The truth of who we are is a soul. We choose this lifetime. We choose these parents, right? And we choose this. So can we change our beliefs from a fear-based system to, as souls, a love-based system? And can we create this here on Earth? One of the biggest exciting things for me in readings now, too, with the astrology readings that I do, is it's possible to see in a chart or karma, if you will, or what lessons. And it's like, so the healing has to occur usually with our ancestors and our childhood. And so which people are involved or which belief patterns are involved and how, and then what directions can you go to look at that? Because there are so many opportunities out there to do that. So astrology is one way you can support yourself, right? And predictions, everybody always wants to know what's coming, right? What's happening to my animal sign? And so to be clear, as I go through the different animals of next year, this is just a snippet of what's happening to you, because there's so much more to you than just your year pillar. There's the year, the month, the day, and the hour. The whole system is called 4 pillars of astrology. And so I'm going to talk here about Chinese astrology, even though I reference Western astrology a lot. And I actually incorporate now Western astrology into my readings, but I'm going to talk here about Chinese astrology. So the day in Chinese astrology is the part that references who we are. And so there's 5 elements. There's water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And each of those elements can be yin or yang. So there's 10 potential, what we call day masters in a chart. And next year is the year of the metal ox. And so the metal ox will interact with each day master differently. So that really is a more in-depth reading when we look at the whole thing. But it's fun to just look at the animals and what's the potential. And so I'm going to do that here. And I'm also going to do that again a couple times. One is on January 10th is my next conscious conversation. But on January 17th, I'm going to do a free live event where I go through the rituals, because Chinese New Year's this year is actually late. It's February 12th. And so I'm going to do a free live event where we talk about what can you do with all the things for Chinese New Year's and what kind of events can you set yourself up, and we'll go a little bit deeper into the predictions. And I'm considering, last week Sunday, I did a whole day live event, and thank you to all of you who joined me. And I might do another one. We'll see. And then in that event, I went in depth with the different day masters and the different animals and things like that. It's just not possible to do it here in, Facebook. Okay. So each animal has its own relationship with the yearly animal, and that's what this discussion right here is about. And so let's start with an ox. And so if you are born in the year of the ox, or if you know a little bit more about which pillar in your chart you have the ox anywhere, and also you can go to my website, and there's a link on my website where you can print off a free chart if you don't have one. Okay, and so this is available to get a chart, not a reading, but a chart. Okay? Now, a lot of people think, oh, it's the year of the ox, and I'm an ox by year, and it's going to be a great year. That's not necessarily true. But what it does mean is that there's lots of opportunities coming your way, but with it comes pressure, because it's like the spotlight is on you. Everybody's looking at you. And the other method that I'm looking here as to how to read what's happening for you is every year there's what we call stars, or particular energies that come with each animal. And that tells us as well kind of like what type of opportunities. And these stars represent different things. They represent education, they represent relationships, they represent making money. You know, they also represent potential sickness or various things, but I'm someone who really just focuses on the opportunities and sure, heads up onto what's coming that you might need to take care of. But really, to me, growth is about, you know, even a year that would be considered bad luck. Like, so this is actually the other thing in Chinese metaphysics. There's 3 factors that control our lives. 33% is your astrology or what you were born with. And that chart is a blueprint that tells you who you are in this lifetime and what parents you choose and what potential lessons and what are your strengths and so on. And then we are affected, just like vegetables in a garden, by the seasons and by time, right? And so what astrology helps you do is helps you understand, well, is it spring or is it winter? And, you know, we're conscious beings. What should I be doing? Okay. 33% of our life is our Feng Shui, where we live. So that's a lot. And so you can choose, you can, you know, work with your environment to support yourself to get, what happens if you have good Feng Shui? More opportunities. Perhaps things, doesn't mean we don't go through problems. We all do. But it means that you maybe resolve them quicker or you get support or answers come. Really, I just see it as more opportunities. There's the energy there for you to solve your problems instead of getting stuck in them. And then 33% of your destiny or your life is created by what you do. So together, are you lazy? Do you take action? So to me, when you're having a year that's a challenge, and I've been doing astrology now for more than 20 years, I will often have better success if success means financial growth or those types of things in a year where I'm considered less lucky because I made my luck. And that's the cool thing here is we are not doomed. We can make our luck. So my approach to all of this is, what is it this year is giving us as a lesson or an opportunity? And how can I best navigate with that? And you may have already set direction that, oh, this is a year I've hired 5 people and I have to do this. Well, then you know, I'm going to have to work perhaps a little harder or it's going to be easy. Okay, so anyways, on February 4th, there's 2 kind of Chinese New Years, if you will. There's the solar New Year and there's the lunar New Year. And in astrology, we use the solar New Year, which is the midpoint between winter solstice tomorrow and spring equinox. And that's always around February 3rd or 4th. And then the celebration that we know as the party and, you know, Chinese New Year's and all that is this year, February 12th. And it is on the second new moon always after winter solstice. So it can vary from being in January to being in February, depending on what the cycles of the moon are, okay? So we still have actually 6 weeks, close to 6 weeks of the year of the rat left, right? So we're not out of the woods, and energy never stops and starts on one day. It's like really, you know, on winter solstice, the energy of the ox is kind of starting and the rat is starting to leave, and it's really a process that continues till about spring equinox. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, the ox. In this year, the rat year, the ox, that's the best friend to the rat. So you should have had a pretty good year. You might have still gone through all different kinds of things, but you've probably landed on your feet. You've probably had support around you, and you've had what we call is luck. It's not a random thing. It's just there's been opportunities, and you still have 6 weeks left to capitalize on it. You've probably had more friends or more support, and you might even emotionally just not have felt as impacted by COVID as other people. You were protected. Okay, now 2021 though is your year, so to speak, right? It's the year in the ox, but really what that means is the spotlight is on you. And so, you know, everything you do is visible. So bear that in mind. There will be opportunities, but you actually have to be in a good mood to get that, because if everybody's looking at you and you're being grumpy, they're not going to want to hang around with you, right? And so, and because you're feeling the pressure of the year, you might be feeling a little, it's not going to be like this year. It's a little bit more stress for you next year, okay? Definitely there are opportunities to be had because the spotlight's on you, but you're actually going to have to dig deep and take care of yourself to be resourced enough to handle them, all right? And so one of the things I have here is develop a good attitude. It's not a year, the energy of the year is not one where you, if you're being complaining or righteous or need to be right all the time, that you will get ahead, Okay, it's really a year to be grateful. And so you actually will probably want to spend more time by yourself and be alone, which is fine. But, and the other just comment I have here is avoid any activities that are physically risky. Do not put yourself into high risk situations. And if you do all that, you should be fine. Now, bear in mind, you have 4 pillars and you'll have 4 animals. Tiger. If you are born in the year of the tiger, next year is lots of good news for you. Business people will do well. You will have more stability in your life in 2021. There's potential to excel. Like there's lots of influences that indicate opportunities will come your way, particularly in, especially if it's your year animal, in career. It's a great time to be seen. People will like you more, right? And you also have what's called very strong nobleman luck. And so nobleman luck is people will be there who can help you get ahead, right? And single tigers, you might meet someone, right? And so this is all really lucky energy. So don't waste it because nothing happens if you do nothing. So people will often ask me, is this a good year? And often what happens when we look back on our good years and that is the years that were good were the years that we actually didn't take advantage of it because we felt happy, things were smooth. So if I tell you this is a good year, I'm actually going to encourage you to do something with that. Go out and get some opportunities. Go out and find people who can help you. Set some goals. And we're going to talk about that when I give you the ritual at the end of this talk. If you were born in the year of the rabbit, you will have a fulfilling year if you tread carefully. Now, rabbits are already an animal sign that is pretty careful and cautious. They don't like confrontation and they like everybody to get along and they like things to be happy. And so, this is a year where you'll be doing that. But you have energies there that'll support you to be determined and persistent. It's not a year to really try to rock the boat or to be aggressive in getting ahead. Slow but steady is the race, so to speak here, and you will get ahead. It's also a year to continue to really look at who do you hang out with and do they reflect your goals and what do you want? Just because you're a sign that doesn't like confrontation, sometimes you tolerate things for too long, okay? And so this is a year to maybe steer the boat in the direction of your long-term goals and situate yourself or start getting closer to people who can help you get ahead. Or certainly remove yourself from people who prevent that. I mean, that's good advice for all of us, but I'm going to sneeze here. Excuse me. Huh. Communicate clearly and cleanly with kindness. That's what I have to say. Again, you're a sign as well. Not that anybody should ever take risks with health and safety, but you're one that should be a bit more careful. And just don't take any undue risks. The dragon in 2021. You should have more energy next year. Your ideas will be you will have more people paying attention to your ideas. Your female mentor luck is high. You should be able, with extra attention, to overcome any challenges. It's a good year. You should be able to save some money. You will have the ability to figure out how to solve your problems. That's kind of the good news. The bad news is there, of course, then that means there will be some problems. It's a good year to study something in metaphysics or spiritual or philosophical. You will really be able to learn it easily and to get ahead with that. You're also another sign. Just beware of accidents and health risks. So just, the Chinese, it's interesting. The Chinese are very aware, I guess, of how energy is sticky, or the ancient people who knew Feng Shui, right? And you know this, that if you're hanging around people that are depressed or in places where there's a lot of illness and things like that, managing your own personal energy is very important because the burnout in those industries is high because we absorb that energy. So if I say take care of your health and those types of things, make sure you have saltwater baths, make sure you walk in nature, make more, not that we shouldn't all be doing that, but just make sure you restore and have a balance between what's draining you and what can feed you and restore your energy systems, okay? The dragon will continue to have a preference for solitude this year. You know, and they'll have fun in relationships, but they'll continue to, dragon is already a sign that likes time alone, and this will be a year where that continues. Now the snake. The snake in 2021 is a friend to the ox. And so right away, when you're considered to be a friend to the yearly animal, that means opportunities will come your way. So there's definitely that happening. There are some stars though. There's your reputation will increase, your promotion luck will increase, there's wealth opportunities for you. However, there's also some stars there that people will be gossiping about you or talking about you or things like that. And so if that shows up as a possibility, it means then be careful in the things you do and be conscious of that so that you don't create, you know, you can control that. But maybe some people will be jealous or, you know, of your getting ahead. That's also something that could be a possibility. This is a good year to work hard. You are in favor for seeing a promotion and you will have a steady flow of income. So it's a good year to do that. And the snake also could have luck in love. It's one of the signs that you could meet something. And here's the thing too. It says here, create a win-win situation. Now I think I live that way anyways, in that I know that what I give and what I am is what I attract. And so that's something for you to do as well. But win-win for you this year, snake. The more you do that, the more you will get in return. Okay, so this is a year for you to do that. The horse in 2021. So 2020 has been you have been what we call a clash to the rat. It's been and this month is going to be, you're already 2 weeks into the month of the rat. It's not a peaceful month. And what that means, many of you I know are rats who are here, my friends and family members and things. What does a clash mean? It means that things unexpected happen. And this month there's a bit more of that. So a couple of you I know, like some of the ones of you that live in Montreal or things like that, you've had to shut down your work. Or you've had, so things are happening that are out of your control. And that can be okay. You just have to have the right attitude, right? And so this whole year, not that all of us haven't felt that life has been out of control for us, but for horses it's a little bit more than others. But actually, you've come through it okay. You have landed on your feet. You should have been able to make money. You should have been able to be just fine. The energy overall has been okay for you this year, just not peaceful. Just things happening that more so than even with others, maybe health issues or, you know, different things. 2021, you're going to feel a little bit that the people that you rely on and trust are going to maybe let you down. Right? And so you're going to have more peace on one hand, but it's really a year where you should really be mindful, because this is the thing too, is you reap what you sow. So if you're treating other people well, they will treat you well. If you're not treating other people well in 2021, it's going to bite you harder than usual. You cannot get away with it. And so you need to put in effort to be respected and to have your reputation good and to have peace in relationships, because there'll be a little bit more. It's not just easily those things are happening. You know, so those close to you may let you down. But compared to last year, 2021 should be a much easier year for you overall in terms of opportunities. It's just emotionally, you know, you're probably going to feel in your relationships that you have to pull a little bit more weight than other people and to do those things. And that's okay. You can work that. You actually have very great, what we call stars this year, so you can turn situations to your favor. This is a great year for you to have personal growth, and there are people there who can help you. Pray and ask for guidance to achieve the full effect. Romantically, keep things in order. Okay, so if you're behaving well, things will be fine. There are opportunities to stray that might come your way, you know, and if you do, it actually shows that you would get caught. Now, can you use these stars to increase your sales or to increase your likability? Absolutely. If you are a single horse, you might find opportunities this year for a new relationship. All right, the goat. The goat is now in 2021 the clash to the ox, right? So there's going to be some excitement. That's one way to look at it. If you really value your peace, I'm going to tell you 2021 is probably not super peaceful. But you know what? That could be somebody gets pregnant, or somebody in your life has a situation that you have to work and do things with, like different ways that can really show up. But you will have the ability to turn any challenges into a positive effect. And so the negative effects will be mitigated, right? And so, but you will be spending some extra money. So I would say, live on a budget. Don't be silly with your money. 2021 is a year of growth for you. It may bring forth buried emotions which need to be released so that you can move forward with new energy. And I would say probably in the rat year that's already been happening. So there's already, like it has to all of us, but because of some influences, there's been some, disappointments. This is a year to cultivate self-awareness, keep your emotions in check, be mindful to mitigate and watch your own addictive behaviors. And it just says live in a budget. You will have lots of energy, and you will have it's a really good year to, anytime actually, this is what I've been taught, anytime we have a challenging year, the energy there is, what it's telling us is turn inwards. Because you need to find spiritual connection to your inner self and your purpose as to what, because nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. And if you can develop, when you develop that attitude and can see that, you will see that, this is my role in that, and I need to change that. Maybe you need to have boundaries, or maybe you need to have more self-care. Maybe you need to stop being a martyr, and codepending everybody around you so that, there's peace. And we can speak our truth without being assholes, we can speak our truth and be kind. I mean, really, if anything, if we're always kind, and that maybe that means waiting until you're resourced and talking only in the moment and not in the heat of the moment, finding times to do things constructively and in a good way. Is my feed still down? Can you guys see me? Hello? Okay, well, I'm going to continue because it is being recorded, and hopefully it resolves itself. Oh, all good. Thanks, Lisa, for letting me know. Okay. Monkey. The monkey in 2021. Great. Thank you, guys. Good. Okay, so in 2020, the rat has been your friend, right? And so you're one of the signs as well that this year has had good luck. And so great stars are coming now as well for next year. You are one, if some people are saying the monkey is the number one animal in 2021, so to speak, or the number one energy. You're going to have opportunities for networking, building new connections, strengthening existing ones, and attracting what we call noblemen. I actually love that sort of saying in Chinese metaphysics. A nobleman is someone can come along in your life this year who has the ability to make your life better, right? And so ask for help. Go out there and talk to people. This is a favorable year for relationships and finance. Expect your hard work to be acknowledged with a promotion or new career opportunities. If you're not working, you'll get a job. Make sure you rest and take care of yourself. The monkey has 4 very powerful signs, supporting it in 2021. No romance stars, but that doesn't mean you can't have a relationship and you'll be popular, and with effort, turn that into something, okay? Rooster in 2021. 2020 has been a little bit of a challenge for roosters. I mean, there's been opportunities to get ahead, but emotionally, the rooster is one of the signs that has been emotionally really affected by this year. And so having to really understand and take responsibility for feelings has been a theme of this year. And so 2021 is when you're going to, especially by April, May on type thing, you're going to just start feeling lighter and happier, and just your heart is going to lift. Roosters are tough. they're able to, they always sort of turn, what's the little thing with Chicken Little, who will help me make the bread. But roosters are someone who can always make something out of nothing, right? And so they're troopers. But this year has been a bit of a tough year. 2021, there will be, of course, some obstacles, but they're only temporary and they can be overcome with diligent determination. Success is in your favor, again, with finances and career. Don't forget to enjoy your family and friends. Roosters tend to be overworkers and not enjoy enough. It is a successful and fulfilling year. You'll be pushed into roles of leadership. Your intuition is strong, and you'll be called upon to solve other people's problems. No shortage of romantic encounters and admirers, and married roosters will enjoy a happy marriage. So yeah, it just is, but you'll be working hard. It's a year of when there's work. It's not one where you're just sort of relaxing all the time. The dog. This is an overall stable and positive energy for you, especially in your career and wealth. 2021. Nice, huh? So positive progress is definitely possible, but communication is key. Honesty, respect, kindness, and love. Be the change. If you want to find someone in a relationship, that's possible. Or you might meet, and particularly who you could find people is through existing connections. So go out there and network, all right? You will want to be alone, but you're not going to, don't be isolated. That also is a sign. The dog and the dragon and the ox and the goat are four signs actually, that sort of inherently are more prone to spirituality and meditation and alone time and those types of things. But really be careful that you're not isolating. Remember what I said, when two or more are gathered, then our energies are stronger. We have to give and let people give to us, right? And I would say the dog is one of those signs that has to make sure that they're not just giving, that they also let people give to them, okay? Don't procrastinate, don't be lazy. There's lots of potential this year. Slow and again steady wins the race. You could get a raise, you could get a promotion, it's all possible, and mistakes will be forgiven. Then the pig. Two left, pig and rat. The pig. Find joy in contentment. 2021 is a relatively safe and stable year for you. Definitely not boring. Now, some of the signs say there'll be travel opportunities, and I'm not sure exactly how the travel will all go next year for people, but what I'm seeing now, because astrology was created thousands of years ago, is travel opportunities can also mean that you make money online from international clients, okay? So if you have the pig in your chart, you have the ability to make money next year internationally. So look at that. That might not literally mean you have to go there. You can find ways to find and attract those clients. It's not a good time to make major changes in your life. It's more a year to find joy in what you do have. Put efforts into your career. Like, just diligent work will get you diligent results. Are you feeling, Mr. Pig or Mrs. Pig, a deeper calling? Allow yourself time to reflect deep internally. This is a great year to plan for your future. All right, to really contemplate what is it, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years, right? What is your deeper calling? And then just steer the boat in that direction. It's a good year to then learn something new, right? That'll support you with that goal. You're probably going to feel restless. You might have a heavier than usual workload. You might get a small raise, right? And you will have support. But overall, it is more of a slightly better than average year, okay? And then the rat and the ox. So the rat this year has been the one that you're on the limelight, and lots of pressure and maybe some depression and emotionally, because restlessness and this just feeling it's in the rat is water, and this year is more water. And so you probably have a feeling, I have to do something, I have to go somewhere, I have to be something, and you just don't know how to channel that or work with that. And so Ox year will help you start channeling some of all those thoughts that you've been having in this restlessness. It's a good year to further your studies or take up new courses, but especially a good year for learning something new. And continue working hard and persevere, but you will have more professional contacts and connections to improve your career aspects. Don't neglect your health, because anytime there's lots of more opportunities around, it means that you might, you're just feeling good enough that you're not going to take care of yourself. Just pay attention to that next year. There might be a little bit of confusion, but as to what direction or choice to take, but as long as you take care to have some time for inner reflection and take care of your health, and the best way to get inner reflection is go walk outside. Go walk outside and connect with nature and connect with the trees and connect with the earth. Overall, you have people that will help you. You will get help from people that can make a difference in your life. You will gain in reputation and people will trust you. Okay. So I'll answer some questions at the end on your horoscopes if you have any. But what I want to just go to here, and actually in the Feng Shui, okay, I just have really, really basic things with the Feng Shui, because it's just, unless you're a practitioner, it's too hard to say, use this star, use that star, whatnot. The system that I'm referring to here is called Flying Stars. And it's the Flying Star system it's a system that there's two types of energy in Feng Shui. There's the energy that you see, and then there's the energy that's invisible, which is magnetic. And the magnetic energy seems to move around compass directions, and it's influenced by mountains and water and that whole thing. And this system is actually able, with a compass, to analyze, and maybe think of them as radio waves. I often call them Wi-Fi signals, right? And it's like we try to tune into the Wi-Fi signals. And so then the advice goes, we have 8 compass sectors. This is the easiest way to describe it. We have 8 compass sectors, and it's like, oh, this year northwest is best, or this year west is best, and this year northeast is best. And if you actually get a personal reading, I'll tell you as well, face this direction, or, depending on what your goals are, or sit in this sector and face this direction. And there's many other schools I use in a consultation that are much deeper, but it's impossible on a call with people who aren't practitioners. And I don't really actually want to speak to practitioners in depth here. There's lots of other places where I do that. So the short news is there's 6 weeks left of this year. And there's an annual energy, the annual 5, which can be kind of a problematic energy. And it's one of the things that we like each year to not disturb, so to speak. And so one thing that you guys all have till February 3rd is next year that 5 is in the southeast. And so you have from now till then to really clean and clear really your whole house, but particularly if you're planning on doing a renovation or any type of landscaping inside or outside the house in what's called the southeast sector. And so just get a compass and divide your house into 9 squares and figure out where's southeast. The time to do it is between now and February 3rd. Because after February 3rd next year, we really don't, it's one of the areas that we say do not disturb, okay? Like do not disturb. And then the next thing is just that the most favorable, every month, on top of the yearly energies, there's some sectors that are more favorable than others. And this month, in the month of the rat, the sectors that have the best energy, if you will, are the south, curiously, the southeast, the southwest, and the northwest. Okay, so if you have a choice of doors to use, so I'll repeat that, the southeast, the southwest, and the northwest. So if you have a choice of doors to use or places to sit, to have your coffee, or to have a window open, or those types of things, like windows open will activate energy, sitting there will activate energy. Those are the better sectors from now till January, say 7th, to sit in and use, okay? And for those of you that know a little bit more about how to use Feng Shui, if you know how to activate the monkey or the rooster, do so, okay? And activate, there are 2 sectors that have very, very favorable stars, and you can use them as well, okay? And so I'm just going to leave that with that, because I just don't want it, it gets really complicated to get more into this. Okay, this, I want to give you a ritual to do over the next week, right? Because what can we do to get ready for 2021? And I'm going to give you a couple over the next month, but January 1st is coming up in 10 days, right? And the solstice is tomorrow. So this is a new birth and a new beginning, right? And so one of the things is to actually prepare your space, right? To create a sacred space, to create a space where you can intentionally, draw in energies. Now, you might not have time to clean and clear and all that stuff, but if you do, great. But if not, just having sacred smoke and candles and aromatherapy or crystals or those types of things is like what I'm going to say to you is just prepare a space with love. And if you could spend an hour or two, for me, we have actually a video online if you want to do space clearing online. But you don't have to do it online. You can get it online, and it just shows you in depth a bit how to do some space clearing. But for me, I walk around lighting incense. I might do some drumming. I'm clearing away energy. I have the windows open. I have some music happening. And my whole intention is preparing a space with love, right? And so the first thing then that you do is, and before even, start thinking, what is your intention for 2021? And that's part of it. But before we get to the intention, you want to release the old with love and gratitude and welcome and create space for 2021. And tonight, if possible, is a really great night to do that, or tomorrow morning, or over the next couple of days, right? But this portal, particularly with Saturn and Jupiter going into Aquarius on the solstice, it's a pretty magical time, right? So I release the old with love and gratitude and welcome and create space for 2021. And even if you only have 15 minutes to light a candle and to sit and just do it on a really small basis, do that, okay? Now, the next one is deciding, like I said, your intention is what do you want moving forward, right? Because decisions are really, really powerful. Intentions are really powerful. And the moment we consciously actually decide and say it out loud or write it down and burn it, the universe starts to work to bring that to you, all right? Energy follows thought. So be clear and put that together, right? And so that's a huge part of this process, right? Is like releasing and giving tension for the new. And our sounds are important. What we say is important. There's actually a lot of new technology coming out right now. Like Egypt the pyramids are saying were created by sound, right? Like those bricks were created by sound, moved by sound. And so intend healing, intend healing. Yeah, you can do this in a meditation, but another way to make this really powerful and anchor it more in yourself is if you have a drum, if you have a drum, do some drumming. If you're open to do some dancing and playing some music, do some dancing. Let the energy move through your body, right? And the younger people that I'm meeting these days that are doing this spiritual type of work, like through, all the yoga, but dance and different things. And there's people now who have dance groups online because they used to get together, and they're playing sacred music and they're each dancing to that. But find ways, because that's how you release the old and bring in the new, okay? And this is how we turn what happened and we acknowledge what happened. And part of this is too, is you could journal what's all happened in 2020. And as you're journaling what all happened in 2020, make sure that you also look at what you're grateful for in 2020, right? Because there's lots to be grateful for. Because what you focus on expands. So if we're always focused, this is mind training. And this is actually the part of the whole new energy shift as we're moving into the new year, is how do we recognize what's going on? Like, oh, it's winter, or I'm in the void. And how do we turn that into, okay, how do I find the light? Or what can I do to see the light, right? And so then you've decided what you want 2021 to be. And part of that needs to be healing. Where in your life do you need to heal? Okay? And then you can dance to it, you can move to it, you can just meditate, whatever feels comfortable for you. But as much and deep you can do it, the more you will get out of it. And part of this is like what I was saying earlier as well. Even if you just have a ball that you do exercises on and you lay on the ball and you open your arms out to the side like this so that you open up your chest and you open up your heart chakra. right? Then this will help to all release and bring in and welcome, okay? So, are you ready for 2021? Well, you still got 10 days, right? And one of the things you can say as you're going through that whole thing is, I'm ready to welcome new energy. I let go of all the baggage. I open my heart. I welcome the new year, right? Because just welcoming the new year is already is like, okay, your guides and angels, they want to work with you. The energies of all this, they want to work with you. They're there. These noblemen, even if you don't have what, like I said, you have obvious noblemen in your predictions for next year. You have 4 animals in your chart. You don't know what the other 4 are. All of us have somewhere a luck happening. There's no such thing as no luck. Right? And then also just to be kind with yourself. You know, I'm going to end with these words to you. You are enough, right? You are enough. You are worth being loved. You are not alone. You are deserving of abundance of love and peace. We all are. And together, when we unite together, we can work towards this. What we give to others, we give to ourselves, right? And so, anyways, thank you all for being with me now this, I guess, hour. Wow. And I'll answer your questions here. I look forward to, a couple things. I have online, we've extended for a week, 20% off a reading with me. And you can actually go to my website and book that now online. Yay. We're still ironing out different website issues, but that one is working. And so as soon as you pay for that, then you'll be sent a link. I'll email you and we'll set up a time. I'm booking now for the end of January and into February. And then I am starting on February 1st, on Monday evening for 4 weeks, Batsi class, Chinese astrology class, intro class. And it's intro in that if you're absolute beginner, you will get something out of it. But if you are, I have many students who take many of my classes over and over again because it's not a set script. I'm always teaching to whatever level of person is in the class to personalize that to you or to help you or to do that and to support you. So anyways, if you want to learn a little bit more about astrology and how to follow more about what I'm talking, it'll be from 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday evening starting early February. So, and I see Lois has put up the link, which is great. So if you have any questions, I'll answer your questions for a few minutes. I wish you all the most beautiful of solstices. And beautiful doesn't necessarily, like for me, I don't know if you're like me, I've been in my tears a few times in the last week. And part of that is actually releasing what needs to be released. And sometimes just feeling, my daughter is in Phoenix and my son, I'll get emotional in Montreal. It's not Christmas like we know it. But the fantastic thing is I actually have a closer relationship with both of them than I have ever had. Being able to see each other and to appreciate what we have, right? And yeah, there's a lot of pain and suffering out there for you. Those of you who are energy sensitive, we feel it, right? The people behind the masks, the loneliness, bless you that are medical workers and working with people like that. But all of us can give somebody a smile. All of us can be kind. Be kind, be nice, go out there, make a difference. Let's all just make this world a better place. So thank you all. Much love to everybody and much light, and we will see you in the new year. I'll just stay. If you have some questions, let me know. Thank you for your kind words. So nice to see so many of you. Gosh, you guys are here from all over the place. All right. It looks like there's no questions. Oh, thank you so much, Paulina. You're welcome. Yeah, happy holidays. I look forward to seeing you all in the new year. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Karina. Esther, beautiful. Nicole, thank you. Dawn, lovely. All right. Goodbye, everybody.